When life changes in a second, there are moments in life that seem too small to call milestones, but still divide our story in two, the before and the after. I never imagined that my turning point would come so quietly, in the light touch of my fingertips during a regular morning shower. It was April, and my life continued at that fast pace that I believed to be normal. I woke up every day to the blaring alarm clock, already thinking about the tasks, problems, and commitments that awaited me. I lived as if I were always racing against time, trying to deliver everything to everyone, carrying heavy responsibilities, worried about everything and everyone, except myself. I was living, but I wasn't truly living. I was breathing, but I couldn't feel the air. I was moving, but I couldn't see the way. I existed, but I didn't see myself. My life was so automatic that, most of the time, I didn't even remember the taste of my own coffee, or how good it felt to have the sun on my face in the morning. I was constantly tired, overwhelmed, and yet I kept going, as if stopping was forbidden, until life stopped me. That morning, as the hot water cascaded over my shoulders, something different happened. I wasn't thinking about bills, goals, or deadlines. I was simply there, present for a few rare seconds. And it was in that brief moment of silence that everything changed. When my hand slid across my chest, I felt a small, firm, strange lump that had never been there before. For a moment, my heart simply stopped. The water continued to fall. The bathroom remained the same. But inside me, something crumbled. That's not normal. That wasn't there. That could be. My body felt cold. Even under the hot water, I felt my legs tremble, as if the ground had become unstable. I closed my eyes, trying to convince myself it was just my imagination, as if, by ignoring it, it could disappear. But it didn't disappear. I touched it again. The nodule was still there, small, silent, and frightening. And at that exact moment, I felt the weight of a reality I didn't want to bear. The first reaction was denial. This can't be serious. It's just hormonal. That's nonsense. I'm sure it's nothing. But deep down, the silence that had taken hold of me screamed louder than any excuse. From that moment on, everything took on a different hue. The path to the room seemed longer. The mirror seemed harder. My own image seemed more fragile. I looked at myself, but I saw myself differently, vulnerable in a way I had never allowed myself to be. And then came the second thought, just as strong as the first. Why did it take me so long to look at myself? I was so busy taking care of the world that I neglected my own body. I listened to everyone but myself. I attended to everyone else, except my own request for help. That day, for the first time in a long time, I listened to myself. And what I heard was fear. The following days were a mixture of silence and turmoil. I touched the lump every day, as if I wanted to confirm that it really existed and it was always there. I held back my tears, pretending everything was normal, while inside my mind was racing 1,000 miles an hour. Every little discomfort seemed like a warning. Each pain seemed like a sign. Every news story about health became a trigger. Even so, I postponed scheduling the appointment, as if postponing the consultation could postpone the truth. But the truth doesn't wait. Fear doesn't either. When I finally scheduled the exam, I felt so nervous that my hands were shaking. It felt like I was going to meet a destiny I hadn't asked for, but that was waiting for me. The doctor's office smelled of alcohol and was coldly lit. I sat in the wide chair, trying to maintain a polite smile while my heart pounded erratically. The doctor spoke calmly, but I barely absorbed her words. Everything sounded distant, as if it belonged to someone else. Then came the exam. The cold gel on the skin. The black and white screen. The doctor remained silent as she observed, a look that spoke louder than any words. That's where the ground disappeared. The recommendation is for more tests. The referrals. The veiled urgency. The papers that I held with trembling hands. The sleepless nights. The thoughts that were engulfing me. I realized for the first time that everything could change at any moment. That's when I received the preliminary diagnosis: atypical ductal hyperplasia, cancer precursor cells. It wasn't confirmed as invasive cancer, but it was enough to turn my life upside down. I left the doctor's office holding paper and a tear. I felt the world around me continuing as normal, cars moving on, people talking, shops operating, while inside me everything was in chaos. It was as if I had been thrust into a new universe where fear, uncertainty, and fragility were the new inhabitants of my mind. At that moment, I understood something that would change everything about me. Life is fragile. Life is urgent. Life is now. And even before any surgery, even before any treatment, the cancer had already begun to transform me. It wasn't the transformation I wanted. It wasn't the transformation I chose. But it was the transformation that would save me. My journey begins with this opening. A painful journey, but full of discoveries. Scary, but full of meaning. A journey that, without me realizing it, would teach me how to truly live. The journey that broke me and then remade me. After the preliminary diagnosis, the world around me didn't change, but I did. It was as if I had put on invisible glasses that took all the color out of things, making everything heavier, colder, more uncertain. Fear has become my permanent home. He slept next to me, woke up before me, and kept me company throughout the day. It took on different forms. Sometimes it was a lump in my throat. Sometimes it was a pain in my chest. Sometimes it was a feeling of emptiness, as if something was about to happen. I tried to stick to my routine, but it was impossible not to think about the future I might not have. Suddenly, professional goals lost their luster. Problems that once seemed enormous became small. Everyday arguments seemed trivial, and I found myself looking at the people around me as if it were the last time. And that thought hurts deeply. I didn't tell anyone anything. I smiled, even though I was broken inside. I kept working, even though my hands were trembling. I was talking, normally, even with my heart racing. Externally, strong. Inside, shattered. Until one night, fear won. I broke down. I sat on the bathroom floor, hugged my knees, and cried as if I were letting out everything I had tried to hold back for days. It was a cry I had never felt before, a cry of despair, of anguish, of exhaustion, of anger. And at that moment, a question overwhelmed me. Why me? This question, however simple it may seem, hurts. It hurts because there's no answer. It hurts because it brings a feeling of injustice. It hurts because it shows that however strong I was human. After crying all I needed to, I got up. I looked in the mirror. I found myself with red eyes, a swollen face, and messy hair. And for the first time, I truly saw myself, a woman who was afraid, yes, but alive. And that gave me the first spark of courage. From then on, my life revolved around a medical schedule. It was an appointment with a breast specialist, imaging exam, collection, return, reports, more tests, more fear. Everything seemed both too urgent and too slow at the same time. I was expecting results like someone expecting a sentence. With each call from the hospital, my heart raced. With each envelope bearing my name, my fingers trembled. But the worst thing of all were the thoughts that came in the silence. What if it's cancer? What if I need to undergo chemotherapy? What if I suffer? What if I can't do it? What if I'm not here tomorrow? The what if is a monster that consumes our peace. It grows in the dark. It feeds on doubt. And it paralyzes us. I was trying to be rational. I was trying to take a deep breath. I was trying to distract myself. But how can you distract your mind from something that's inside your own body? One night, before going to sleep, I found myself staring at the ceiling and thinking about all the things I wanted to do but didn't do. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to touch the sea in other places. I wanted to visit people I hadn't seen in years. I wish I could say I love you more often. I wish I had lived with more ease. I wish I had taken better care of myself. It was at that moment that I realized how quickly life passes by. And the worst part is, it happens without us even noticing. The day of the surgery arrived like a silent thunderclap. I woke up early, but I didn't sleep well. My mind was racing. My body was trembling, even though I wasn't cold. My heart felt heavy with stones. As I was getting ready, I felt a deep tightness in my chest. It was fear, but it was also love. Love for myself, love for life, love for everything I still wanted to experience. In the hospital, The smell of alcohol mixed with silence was suffocating. I walked down the hallways with short steps, as if I were walking with a part of myself in my hands. I put on the hospital gown and felt as if I were stripping off not only my body, but my emotional armor. No clothes, no makeup, no hurry, just me, vulnerable, lying on the stretcher. I felt the coldness of the metal on my back. The white ceiling seemed endless, and each second felt like an eternity. The nurse looked me in the eyes and held my hand. That simple gesture melted my heart. She said, "Breathe, you are safe." I closed my eyes, and at that moment, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I spoke with God. I didn't ask for anything impossible. I didn't ask for privileges, not even miracles. I only asked for strength and peace. The anesthesia arrived, like a slow embrace, gradually erasing the world. My thoughts were becoming hazy, and before falling completely asleep, I felt one last tear roll down my cheek. It was fear. It was a farewell, but it was also courage. When I woke up, my first feeling was one of confusion, then pain, then relief. I was alive, entire, breathing. The surgery was over, and with her, another stage of my life began. The recovery was not easy. Every movement hurt. Every breath was uncomfortable. Each day seemed too slow, but inside me, something new was being born. A different kind of awareness, a more sensitive perspective, a more awakened heart. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw not a weak woman, not a sick woman, but a woman was getting up, a woman who was being reborn. Throughout my life, I have always been too strong. Strong enough to believe that asking for help was a sign of failure. Strong enough to carry everything by herself. Strong enough that I forgot about it in the process. But cancer taught me one of the hardest lessons. I don't need to be invincible. I just need to be human. Asking for help was liberating. Allowing people to take care of me. To allow someone to hold my hand. To allow me to rest. To allow me to show my weaknesses without shame. For the first time, I realized that vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is connection. It's love and truth. During my recovery, I discovered the magic of small things. The sun is streaming in through the window. The smell of coffee. The sensation of warm water on the skin. The laughter of a loved one. The touch of a helping hand. The tranquility of simply existing. Things that once seemed silly now had a special shine. I realized that happiness was always there. I was just too busy to see it. Faith has become my safe haven. Not blind faith. Not a faith that promises perfect endings, but a faith that embraces, strengthens, and calms. Faith is knowing that even when everything seems to be falling apart, there is something greater holding me up. It was faith that gave me the courage to continue. It was faith that gave me serenity while I waited for results. It was faith that gave me hope when fear tried to overwhelm me. Over time, I began to understand what no one teaches you about illnesses. They don't just come to hurt. They arrive to transform. I learned to respect my body, to honor my emotions, to prioritize my health, to let go of what weighs you down, to embrace what remains, to live with purpose. Cancer took away my peace, but it gave me back my life, a more conscious life, lighter, more truthful. Each day after surgery was a new learning experience. I haven't gone back to being who I was before, and today I'm grateful for that. I am reborn, more courageous, more present. I'm very grateful, more human, and I understood deeply that being alive is a privilege. How breast cancer taught me to truly live. When I look back, I see the woman I was before all of this happened. A strong, determined, hardworking woman, but always rushing, always tired, always putting the whole world ahead of herself. And then I see the woman I am today. A woman who overcame fear, who held her own fragility in her own hands, who endured nights of anguish, profound silences, and pain that no one saw. A woman who was reborn from her own fright. A woman who finally understood the value of her own life. Breast cancer was not just one illness in my story. It was a warning. It was a cry from life, saying, "Hey, look at yourself." It was an invitation, painful, but real, to wake up. He taught me things that no book could have taught me. And strange as it may seem, today I can see all of this not as a punishment, but as a calling. Before all this, I lived as if I had infinite time. I kept saying, I'll look into that later. Then I'll rest. I'll take care of myself later. Then I'll live. But what if later never comes? Cancer held up a mirror to me and showed me the truth that we avoid facing. Life is too short to be postponed. Today I live a different way. I don't wait for the weekend to be happy. I don't put off until tomorrow what can make me smile today. I don't let things that deserve to be celebrated go unnoticed. Life is now, and now, this is all we really have. My body has been talking to me for years, but I ignored it. Fatigue? I used to say it was lack of sleep. Pain? It'll pass. Sadness? It's just stress. Alum. It must be nothing. I kept quiet for so long that I almost lost my chance to save myself. Today I learned to listen to every signal, respecting every limit, to treat my body not as a machine, but as my home. I don't blame myself for the past, but I promise I will never abandon myself again. Before, I thought that being strong meant never faltering, never crying, never asking for help. But true strength doesn't lie in never being afraid. True strength lies in walking forward even when trembling. It's about getting up even when broken. It's about continuing even without guarantees. I was scared, very scared. And yet, I continued. That's strength. That takes courage. This is life pulsating. Cancer took a lot from me, but it also revealed who was really with me. He showed who held my hand, who sent me sincere messages, who showed up, those who did not flee, who didn't treat me like a poor thing, who was with me through the good times and especially the bad times. Cancer separates superficial relationships from true relationships. And that, however painful it may be, is liberating. Today I keep close those who look at me with love, who support me with affection, and who give me peace. The rest, I let go. I spent years taking care of everyone but myself. I always put myself last, as if my health were just a minor detail. But cancer taught me that self-love is not selfishness. It's self-preservation. It's about survival. It is respect for the life that pulsates within me. Today I take care of myself without guilt. I put myself first when I need to. I say no when it hurts me. I say yes when it makes me feel good. I learned to love myself because I understood that the only person who will be with me from beginning to end is myself. Goals are important, of course, but goals don't embrace. Goals don't cure anything. Goals don't hold our hands in a cold hospital room. Yes, those are the moments. Today, I collect moments. The sunset that I never stop to watch. The music I listen to most attentively. The coffee that I drink slowly. The unexpected affection. Laughter that makes your stomach hurt. The tranquility of simple mornings. I discovered that happiness lies in the details and that the details are what truly matter. Cancer broke a lot of things inside me, but it also opened up space for others to flourish. I am reborn. Be reborn more consciously. To be reborn is more light. I was reborn, more connected to my essence. I was reborn, more in control of myself. I was reborn, knowing that every second matters. I was reborn knowing that my life has value and a great deal of it. Today I live with a purpose that I didn't have before. To truly live. To live with presence, with affection, with courage, with gratitude. I don't know what the future holds, nobody knows. But today I know that, as long as I'm here, I will live intensely every breath, every sensation, every joy, and even every pain. Because all of this means one simple and precious thing. I am alive, and living is the greatest gift that life has given me.